Hi there, Junko. Let's take a look at your latest essay about traditional food being replaced by fast food. Let's see what you wrote. Nowadays, there is more modern eating available and less traditional one across the world, which might cause a loss of traditional food culture and dishes in each region and country. However, others think it brings us a positive result in our lifestyle. I agree that fast food affects us negatively. In this essay, I will discuss both arguments in detail. Okay, so grammar is good. There wasn't anything wrong with your grammar. Well, a little bit. We'll talk about that. Nothing serious, though. Okay? Just some minor details. So we'll talk about your grammar. Why don't we do that first, in fact, the language in general. So nowadays, what does this mean, more modern eating available? That's not really a clear expression, and it doesn't really truly rephrase. It's not really a synonym for fast food. So you really have to be careful with this, okay? Because you're essentially trying to rephrase the task. So nowadays there is more convenience food available and less traditional food across the world. Okay, you could have said that, which might cause the loss of, I don't want you to say traditional food again. So how about just food culture, you could say, in each region and country, and then you're okay. So that's it essentially about grammar and vocabulary. Let's talk a little bit about the sentences themselves and how they linked together, because this is where I feel that this was missing. Okay. It's so yeah, I guess you could say it falls under coherence and cohesion. All right. So you said there is modern eating. You're presenting it as a fact, and then you say others think it brings us positive result. Well, no, not others, but some. Because this others makes sense if you say some people think this, however, others think this. That makes sense. But since you haven't said that some people think something, you want to say here. However, some think it brings us a positive result in our lifestyle. Okay. And then here you have something totally opposite. So you need to have a linker that shows this contrast. Why don't we try this? So, um, modern eating or modern food or convenience food, as we talked about, which might cause the loss of food culture in each region and country. Some people think this brings us a positive result in our lifestyle, comma. However, I believe that fast food affects us negatively. Okay, so you're combining these two sentences. You're putting the however between the two and you're connecting them. In this essay, I will discuss both arguments in detail. Now, here's my last question about this introduction. Why are you going to talk about the positive result? You just told me that you think it's negative. The essay only asks, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So the only the only reason why it might make sense for you to talk about the opposite side, that is positive, is if on some level you agree with that. If you agree with that, then you need to say it here in your introduction so that your position is clear. Okay? I really hope this makes sense because it's okay to talk about both arguments in a to what extent do you agree or disagree essay, but there are very specific ways to do that. If you believe both, if you believe that, there's validity to both, then you need to state that and you need to state it in your introduction. Alternatively, what you can do is you can talk about the side that you agree with, and then when it comes to this idea about like the positive result, you can then just destroy the argument by saying, how wrong it is on so many levels, okay? So that's one okay way to do it, but most people do not do it like this. All right, so why don't we move on? Let's go to your body paragraphs. To begin with, we live in a world surrounded by a wide range of food, comma here, including modern and traditional meals whenever or wherever we are. Also, our busy and fast-paced lifestyles mainly supported by modern food. Okay, such as pre-prepared, processed, or fast food purchased at supermarkets or franchise restaurants. However, this modern eating causes human health issues due to high calories, sugar, saturated fat, or artificial ingredients. For instance, the United States of America, which is called the kingdom of fast food, has a serious problem with obesity and chronic disease. It may rise medical cost. Well, it may raise medical costs and affect without the it may. Yeah, without the S because it may, okay? So it may rise, or rather, it may raise and it may affect the nation's economic development. Okay. Again, I thought your grammar for the most part was fine. I have to tell you that there's not really a ton here that's high level. Let me think about this for a second. So, okay, you've got some passive voice here. Fine. You've got a relative clause here. Okay, I mean it's fine. It's not you don't have any sort of like more complex language, more sophisticated, but what you have is okay. It's accurate for the most part, as I already said. I want you to be careful again with this because you're only supposed to be talking about fast food. Pre-prepared and processed food at supermarkets, that's not what we're talking about. So don't get off topic. Don't introduce this element, which is not what we're talking about. We're talking about fast food, which means you go to a corner store and you purchase something which is ready for you in minutes. Okay? That's what you're talking about. So don't introduce this idea of prepared frozen foods at supermarkets. Okay. Now, one thing that I want you to keep in mind here with this essay is that you've been asked to talk about three layers of people: families, individuals, and society. So that needs to inform the way you answer this. Here, I was kind of wondering the entire time, like, okay, where are you going with this? Which layer are you going to talk about? Here, I kind of felt like it was finally clear that you were talking about society. However, you don't really want to wait until the last sentence for that to be clear. Okay, so you could have started off by making it just super clear with a topic sentence saying that to begin with, fast food has a detrimental effect on society. We live in a world surrounded by a wide range of food, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so really make that central idea clear because again, it's this central idea that is going to having a central idea that is clear is going to help you with your coherence and cohesion score. All right, let's keep going. In contrast, traditional food or eating habits. Okay, I don't understand this. Let's try it differently. In contrast, traditional food has been prepared and eaten at religious festival or family event in each region and nation. All right, this has some issues. Get rid of eating habit here. It just doesn't help you at all. And then I don't understand this. Eaten at religious what? Event. That is okay, but then you can't say festival event. So this is a little strange. You could have said traditional food has been prepared and eaten at festivals and religious, no, wait, or, gosh, I'm trying to help you with this, are eaten at festivals and religious or family events. There you go, in each region and nation. It also includes family eating together and sharing meals based on societal and religious motives, whereas the modern eating style is more individualistic and separate. Again, don't call it modern eating, refer to the fast food specifically. Moreover, traditional meals are usually prepared with locally produced ingredients, including vegetables, fruits, and grains, and fish without waste. Clearly, it is environmentally friendly and sustainable for our planet, whereas fast food is made of imported and wastefully processed ingredients, as well as uses disposable plastic utensils when served. Okay, this paragraph isn't really on topic. The essay has not asked you to extol the virtues of traditional food. They've asked you a far more specific question. Fast food is replacing traditional food, and this has a negative impact on these three things. Do you agree? Do you not agree? If you do agree, to what extent do you agree? Okay, that this position is what you've been asked to comment on. If you agree with it or not. Okay, so we're not asking you to get into details about how wonderful traditional food is. Okay, sometimes you may want to refer to traditional food and you may want to somehow compare it to fast food, but the focus is supposed to be on fast food here. Okay, all right, so to conclude, don't write the conclude this, just to conclude, comma, though the change in eating from traditional to has made, because it's one change, so has made humans' life easier, it has been significantly affecting the family relationship, health, and the earth. Thus, traditional food should be reviewed and considered for the future. Okay. So I thought, like I said before, that most of your grammar was okay. There were some errors. There was some, like I said, some errors. For me, task achievement was an issue. That second body paragraph was off topic. I mean, it was related, but it wasn't what you were supposed to be talking about. And it needed a little better cohesion and coherence. Okay? These are the things that I really want you to work on in this essay. Make sure that you're answering the question that has been asked and not something just kind of, partially related. Okay? So let's move on and go to your task one. All right, we've got shoe sales. Let's see what you did here. The bar, first of all, they're called bar charts. All right, we usually call them line graphs, bar charts, and pie charts. So the bar chart provides information on the two different categories of shoe sales in 9 countries in Europe in 2018. Overall, it is evident that Poland and Hungary have the highest sales for brown leather and black leather, whereas Belgium and France have the lowest. All right, you don't need ones here. Just get rid of it and stop here, lowest. Focusing, get rid of this, focusing first on. Okay. Some of this is unnecessary. Let's see. It is clear that the trend of the more brown leather shoe compared to black leather won in Poland, Germany, and Ireland, respectively, at around 140, 120, and 100. All right, this needs work. So, grammatically, lexically, this is not correct. So I would scrap this sentence and start with something different. What are you telling us? You're telling us about brown leather shoes. And I think you're giving us the number for Poland, Germany, and Ireland. Let's see. Germany, Poland, and Ireland. Why Ireland? Okay, I don't really understand that. All right, yeah, so I don't really understand this, the choice of these countries. I don't understand why you've chosen these particular countries, but we'll talk about it. By contrast, Hungary, Italy, and the UK show more popularity of the black leather types of shoes than brown. Again, stop with the brown ones. It's just than brown, and you're fine. Okay. Secondly, the most notable point can clearly be seen in Belgium that the black leather shoe sales were 10 times higher than the brown ones. All right, let's clean this up. All right. We've got a lot of extra language here, so why don't we change this? How about black leather shoe sales were 10 times, or how about this? In Belgium, we'll start like that. So the sentence starts, in Belgium, black leather shoe sales were 10 times higher than brown. It can also be seen, no, again, this kind of awkwardness. Uh, in France and Poland, there was a significant disproportional, I'm not sure about that language here. Let's see. In France and Poland, there were significant differences in sales of the two types of shoes, where both numbers of brown leather shoes were double those of black. Okay, so we need to work on this a little bit. You have a lot of language, but it's not saying anything. It's like structural stuff, but it's not giving us any content. So what I want to do is I want to help you by showing you what is important in this bar chart. Okay. So one thing that I think is a good thing to do is to use these numbers along the side. Let me show you what I mean. I would have one paragraph talking about black shoes. Then I would have another paragraph talking about brown. Why do you suppose I would start talking about black shoes first? Because the black shoe sales have the highest figure in the chart. Okay? So the other thing that we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the outliers. And by the outliers, I mean the highs that really stand out, the lows that really stand out, and then everything else I'm just going to kind of group or lump together. So take a look at what I'm going to do. With regard to black leather shoes, 3 countries sold over 100,000 pairs. And by the way, you have to refer to them in the thousands. More specifically, Hungary sold the most of any shoe type at 140 black leather shoes, 140,000 black leather shoes sold. The other 2 countries above 100,000 were Italy and Belgium. In contrast, the least black shoes sold were found in France at only 35,000. The remaining countries, and you can name them because you haven't named them yet, UK, Germany, Ireland, Holland, and Poland, all sold between 50,000 and 100,000 black leather shoes. And then new paragraph, with regard to brown leather shoes, and then here you would say, 4 countries sold over 100,000. And then you can say who they are or what they are and their scores. You can talk about this low here. Emphasize this low. In Belgium, it's the lowest figure on the chart. And then at this point, you don't even need to mention the names of the countries because you've already done that. You say the remaining countries all sold between 75 and 100,000 brown leather shoes. Okay, so that's how you do it. It's concise. It's knowing what to focus on and what not to focus on, including enough data, but not giving the reader so much data that he or she becomes overwhelmed. Okay, you'll get the hang of it. So go ahead, correct these, return them back, and let's see more work from you. Okay, good luck.